The mahogany desk still smelled of lemon polish, a scent Maya associated with fresh starts and high expectations. It was only 10 a.m., on her third day as a senior analyst at Thorne and Associates, and she was still trying to figure out how to navigate the digital filing system without locking herself out. Then the printer in her cubicle, a private perk of her mid-level seniority, whirred to life. She hadn't sent a document to print. A single sheet of paper slid into the tray. It wasn't a spreadsheet or a memo. There was no company letterhead. In the center of the page, printed in a jarring typewriter-style font, were 3 lines. The ledger doesn't breathe. Room 402. Midnight. Don't let the coffee get cold. Maya stared at it. She looked over the gray fabric wall of her cubicle. The office was a hive of mundane activity. The clicking of keyboards, the low hum of the hack, and her boss, Marcus, laughing at a joke near the water cooler. The first red flag, Maya's instinct was to toss it in the shredder. Cryptic notes were the stuff of thrillers. And she was a woman who enjoyed her predictable 401k and her Sunday meal prep. But as she moved to crinkle the paper, she noticed something in the bottom right corner. It was a small hand-drawn symbol, a circle with a horizontal line through it. It was the exact doodle she used to make in the margins of her notebooks in college. Only one other person knew she did that. Elena. Elena, her best friend from the university, had worked at Thorne and Associates until 6 months ago. She'd been the one to recommend Maya for the role, but she had stopped answering Maya's texts 3 weeks before the start date. Maya had assumed it was a falling out, or perhaps Elena was embarrassed she had left the firm so abruptly. Investigating the silence, Maya spent the afternoon in a haze. She tried to focus on the ledger, the firm's nickname for their proprietary auditing software. But the notes phrase, "The ledger doesn't breathe," haunted her. She checked the office directory. There was no room 402. The building only went up to the 3rd floor. "Hey, Marcus?" Maya asked, leaning into her boss's office later that afternoon. "I was looking for the supply closet. Is there a 4th floor I missed?" Marcus didn't look up from his screen. His smile was tight, the kind of expression that didn't reach the eyes. "This is an old building, Maya. The 4th floor was sealed off years ago for structural issues, asbestos and all that. Stick to the renovated areas, okay?" The choice. At 11:45 p.m., the lobby was empty. The security guard was looped on a 15-minute smoke break, a pattern Maya had observed from her car. She didn't take the elevator. She took the service stairs behind the break room. When she reached the 3rd floor landing, she saw it. A heavy steel door tucked behind a vending machine, marked with a faded brass 4. She pushed. It wasn't locked. The 4th floor was a tomb of dust and old furniture. But at the end of the hallway, a sliver of light spilled from under a door. Room 402. Inside, the room was pristine, a sharp contrast to the decay outside. A single desk sat in the center, holding a laptop and a steaming thermos. Next to the thermos was a small digital scale and a stack of physical ledgers, the paper kind that companies had unused in decades. Maya walked to the desk. The thermos was warm. She unscrewed the cap. The scent of hazelnut coffee, Elena's favorite, filled the cramped space. She opened the laptop. The screen was already live, displaying a live feed of the firm's digital ledger. But there was a second window open, a script running in the background. It was subtracting fractions of a cent from every transaction, millions of times a second, and rerouting them to an offshore account. Then, the laptop chimed. A new message appeared on the screen. "I knew you'd come. Look under the scale. They re coming back at 12:15. You have 12 minutes to decide if you re an analyst or an accomplice." Maya lifted the scale. Taped to the bottom was a flash drive and a key to a locker at the downtown train station. The silence of the building was broken by the distant sound of the elevator motor groaning to life. Someone was coming up.